But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bri.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Illegal Ham to the Face, where we are here live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I am that fat guy, and he is always Big Bri. What's going on, big fella?
Hey, man. What's going on?
Not much, buddy. Great week. Great weekend. Had a good time with the family. Got my ass kicked in the ass by my kids, which was awesome. And other than that, that's about it for me. How was your week?
Hey. Can't complain. Other than a little bit of snow on Sunday, everything else was just peachy, as our buddy Butch would say.
Yeah, peachy is it. Peachy keen, baby. All right. So our show is brought to you by hkeehl and Lake Erie APA and also City Dogs of Cleveland. If you look at the description in our info tonight, I have everywhere where you can actually get a hold of them. I got their websites, their phone numbers, their emails. If you want to play pool and have a good time, join Lake Erie APA. And if you need to adopt a beautiful dog, which we have a new one tonight from City Dogs of Cleveland, get a hold of City Dogs of Cleveland or Friends of City Dogs on Facebook or the other platforms that we're going to be showing here later. Bri, do you have any shout outs for this week?
Yeah, let me shout out real quickly. A couple of birthdays that I saw popped up over the last couple of days. They're both Cleveland Browns legends, one being Phil Dawson and the other one being, the guy that came on this show and wished me a happy birthday. So let me fling it back to him and wish Eric Metcalf a happy birthday.
We also have a couple more birthdays to add to that.
All right.
Big hkeehl, I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, is turning the big 5-0, Bri. So we're going to have... there's a little hideaway spot that we're meeting up for his birthday party, which I'll let you know here in a little bit after the show. We are also Tony and RIP Joe. His birthday was this week with Tony. So we had that going on. And I also got to see Big Boy Phillips this week. It's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row I've seen Big Boy Phillips, and it feels kind of weird watching him walk into work and just go out and just point at trees. Just, like Brian used to do. Just, yeah, I think you should mark that one. That limb's broken. It's just weird.
Sounds like he's working hard.
Yeah, he's really working hard.
Stop in for some chili at lunchtime and enjoy all of Rick's good cooking.
I'll tell you what, we had some good stuff today. We had smoked turkey breast on honey wheat bread with Gouda cheese and chipotle mayo and arugula. We had a very hearty vegetable soup, Bri. We had Texas sheet cake, which is really good. And then he made his own croutons for our salad. So we had salad, sandwich, soup, and Texas sheet cake.
Homemade croutons. My goodness. And so does he foot the bill for all this, or do they reimburse him?
No, Dad gives him the shop card and says, go buy lunch for Monday and Tuesday for everybody. Cause we get lunch from the clubhouse throughout the week. So it's kind of like it's easier. Plus it's kind of cheaper than our Pizza Fridays as we used to have.
Sure.
So it's kind of easier. Just go out, buy some deli meat, make sandwiches, make spaghetti and meatballs. I mean, we're spoiled. I'm not going to lie. We're spoiled.
There's part of me that's very jealous, but then there's also part of me that I'd be well over 300 pounds if if I was still there. So probably good that I'm not.
Also, shout out to the crew went on. So I wasn't there Monday. I had to go get the the wonderful health insurance physical from the doctor on Monday, Bri. But
sure.
the country club went up against Pepper Pike in a known battle we haven't done in a very long time.
No.
They went and played whirly ball, Bri.
Wow. Were you there the last time we did that?
No, I've never played. So you were there.
It was like my very first year. I can't believe that place is still in business. Whirly ball and laser tag over off of Miles Road.
So Pepper.
Did we win this time? They kicked our butts last time.
I do not know, but there's talks of a league forming for whirly ball.
Wow.
Just letting you know, but we are going back to play again in February.
Keep me posted. Maybe I'll keep you posted. I'll make my way out that way.
That'd be awesome if you did, because I guess from talks of it, there's some strategy that the boys have got to work on from country. Got to work on our communication skills.
It's a fun, interesting game. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of like a mixture of.
It's bumper cars with lacrosse is what it is.
There you go. Yep.
Bumper cars, lacrosse, and basketball all in one fell swoop.
Yeah. Very. Yep. You're in a little. What do they call them at Cedar Point? The Dodgems. The bumper cars, whatever you call them. And you got like this thing like high-lie. You know what the hell high-lie is? It's like basically you're just holding a just the top of a lacrosse stick and you kind of toss it around your teammates and then you try to score a goal. So but it's a good time.
All right. So Justice said, how is it only Tuesday? I've been asking that since Saturday. And James says, hello, everybody. Nice hat, Big Bri. Fatty, it looks like someone crapped on your hat. Yeah. Well,
wow. It's about time I get some love from James for my hat. He ragging on me for my Brady shirt last week.
He's all about the Brock Purdy right now. Him and the Niners fans are all Brock Purdy'd up. You know, I can't wait till that kid.
Is James a Niners fan?
Oh yeah, he's a huge Niners fan.
Is he really? Okay.
I can't wait till
it's not a Niners hat, so
I want that kid destroyed so bad. Everybody's trying to compare him to Tom Brady. Jesus, I don't need to hear it.
I mean, it's as improbable of an event as you could possibly imagine. A rookie, Mr. Relevant rookie taking his team to the conference championship. It's wild. Never thought I'd ever see anything like this. So, I don't know. Maybe it's me just getting older and not being a hater as much, but I just kind of appreciate it.
You sit there, you watch. They spent all that capital to go up and get Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Dicked around with Jimmy Garoppolo, brought him back. Trey Lance gets hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt. Bri, just like I said, what would happen if Drew Bledsoe never got hurt? This is what it is. Brock Purdy's going to take
guys. Sure.
Brock Purdy's going to take over, and guess what? Trey Lance probably could have been the best quarterback ever, but he got hurt. And here comes Brock Purdy.
It's just, it's what you do with your opportunity. Eventually, but I think there's usually 65, 70, 75 quarterbacks that start a game every season. And it's what you do with your opportunity. He's making the most of it, and I was thinking about this today. Out of the 4 teams that are left, 3 of them have quarterbacks on rookie contracts, and I think there's something to it. And the other team has Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league. So, you got to get it done while you can, because if you have to start paying Jalen Hurts a ton of money, you're not going to be able to pay some of these other guys. So you got to strike while the iron's hot over the next couple of years, and then that's why Kansas City had to get rid of Tyreek Hill, because they're paying Patrick Mahomes a ton of money. So you weaken your team just because you have to pay your quarterback. But paying a 7th rounder peanuts, and Jalen Hurts is a 2nd rounder. He makes like probably $1 million to $2 million a year. And I know Joe Burrow's the number 1 pick in the draft, but you're still paying him on a discounted contract because he's a rookie. So hats off to him. Eventually they're going to have to pay these other guys, though, Jamar Chase, the Bengals have 2 top 5 picks and they made them count. And they're still making a lot of money, but they're not making top QB and top wide receiver money. So good for them.
All right. So, Brian, I told you before the show started, I put out a poll on Twitter. Okay. Wow. We've got all that many votes now. Up to 1,200 votes right now, Brian, on Twitter. And I said, Browns fans, since Browns are out of it, who are you rooting for now to get to the Super Bowl? And I named all 4 teams, Brian. Okay. Now, after trivia and everything, I'll reveal the poll, but who do you think is in the lead? Gut feeling for you. Who's in the lead right now? 1,200 votes, Brian.
I think there's a lot of people that might say Cincinnati, just because we don't have the same hate for them that we do the Steelers and the Ravens. But I don't know if it's enough. Nobody can root for Mahomes, I don't think. Kansas City might get some votes because of Kelsey being from Cleveland Heights. I don't know, and I think Shanahan, maybe Browns fans don't love. I'll say the Eagles.
All right, you're going Eagles?
Sure.
All right. Well, see here. Justin said Bengals because Joe's an Ohio native.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of that.
I get that too, but you also got both Kelseys
in your division.
And both Kelseys are still in it. So, Bri, do you want to get into our trivia today, which is brought to you by City Dogs of Cleveland?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's going to be a good one. You're going to like this one.
Cool.
Hey, like I said, our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs of Cleveland. Let me go over here and get their information brought up for everybody. City Dogs, we got a new dog this week, but you can get a hold of City Dogs down here scrolling at the bottom. We're going to keep this up for right now, Bri. City Dogs went to, like I said, they went over towards Delaware last week to get some dogs over towards the East Coast. Came back with 10 dogs added. But this is our beautiful beauty right here, Bri. Now, don't forget, where's my pictures? There's my pictures. Don't forget the August or April, whatever date it is. I think it's April 2nd or April 3rd.
Yep,
2nd.
like that.
April 2nd, we got the Pucks for Paws with the Cleveland Monsters. Go there, buy some tickets, support the APL and City Dogs of Cleveland. Brian and I have talked. I think I'm going to be there with my wife and kids, and Brian, we might be making a legal ham fun day out of it, going watching some hockey and having a good time.
I've already planted the seed. Now, are you bringing Betty?
I don't know if we could bring Betty.
Okay.
Because I would love to bring Betty, but Princess is not it's not that she's not good with other dogs. She's not good with loud noises.
Gotcha.
And I figured they might be blowing the horn and everything for the goals and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So I would bring Princess, but I don't think we can. And especially with my little Rugrats, I got enough to watch other than a dog. So got to kind of keep mine there, but I might bring Princess. I don't know yet. We still kind of up in the air about that. You're talking about bringing Lil, right?
Yeah, we talked. My wife is nervous because, she doesn't do great around other dogs. She's fine. She won't go attack them or anything like that. But if they start invading her personal space, then she gets kind of defensive. So I was like, let's bring her. If she has too much of an issue or has too much anxiety, we can just take off. But at least we showed up and had a good time and tried it. So I don't know. I guess we got a couple months to figure it out, but it'll be fun. I'd like to go.
All right. Well, Bri, here's what they say in here, our cutest chunky bean. Her name is Griselda. She's around 6 years old and a total cuddle monster. She loves scratches and belly rubs. She's quite mild-mannered mama and very well-behaved. Came to us with a damaged left eye, and it's possible this eye will need to be removed. She's vision impaired on that side. Luckily, we think she's stunning with an eye patch, which is amazing for this dog. She also tested positive for heartworm, but fortunately, this is a treatable condition. Friends of City Dog Cleveland covered the cost. Griselda needs a home where she can relax after a treatment for a while before getting back to normal dog activities. If you'd like to set up a meet for her, go to www.tinyurl.com/meetacitydog to find out more and set up a meet with her. Take a look at this face, Bri. How can you say no to that face? I mean, this is going to be difficult for us for here out with City Dogs.
I know.
I mean, you can't go wrong, but that is Griselda. She is up for adoption. If you guys please help us out, that'd be awesome. They adopted this past weekend. Another 11 dogs were adopted out of City Dogs of Cleveland. Can't thank you guys for doing what you guys do. It's an amazing thing you guys are doing. But if you can help out, please help out. If you can't help out, help donate. Food, anything of that nature, they need help. Even if it's $5 in cash, $5 goes a long way, like you wouldn't believe. Sure. That's two things of peanut butter that can go in Kongs. So please help support City Dogs of Cleveland like we do. We love them. We thank them. We thank Beth for everything she's done for us. So right there it is. Go down to the bottom of the screen. You see everything scrolling down there to get a hold of them. That is our City Dog of the week is Griselda. All right, Brian. Cute dog. Really cute dog.
Do we know if Maxwell got adopted?
She has not informed me of that yet.
Okay. So give them a call. It's worth a try.
I have to figure it out here a little bit later. She just sent me her new dog, so I said, okay, we'll go with that. Bri, our trivia is a food trivia, Bri. We don't do much food trivia.
Okay.
And
I'm ready.
With our Fat Boy Tuesday being talking about fruit. Big Bri, I have got to ask you, what is the most popular fruit in the world?
In the world.
In the entire world, what is the most popular fruit?
Okay. All
right. Just think it's not that hard of a trivia question.
Well, now I'm second guessing it.
Just think.
Okay.
All right.
Got to. Yep.
All right. So there we go. We'll get our Fat Boy Tuesday later, which is fruit. We're going to talk a little bit about it is not pomegranate, not even close. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Cleveland coaches that are up for grabs right now. We have a couple that have went out and did some stuff. We got to talk about Cavs, Bri, because I got a little beef with the NBA and the Cavaliers right now. And then we're going to get into the wonderful top three that, Bri, I'm so glad you came up with this top three. Kevin Stefanski made his rounds on 92.3 and ESPN Cleveland up here in Cleveland. You and I listened to it all the time. You brought it up to me and said, hey, if you could ask Coach Stefanski 3 questions, what are those 3 questions? So we had a little fun with that. I put it out on Facebook. I put it out on Twitter. We got some people that actually did ask some questions that I'll bring up here a little bit later. But we're going to do the poll right now, Brian. Now, the Twitter poll I put out, Browns fans, you're done. You haven't seen the postseason. You've only seen 2 in, 20 some odd years, 23 years? Something of that nature. So, with the Browns out, with 4 teams left, you got the Bengals, you got the Niners, you got the Eagles, and you got the Chiefs. I said, hey, which one are you rooting for to get to the Super Bowl? You said you think that the Eagles? Is that what you went with?
Yeah, but process of elimination, I think maybe the Eagles.
Process of elimination, maybe. Now, we had 1,200. Last I looked, Brian, we had 1,203 votes on this. Okay. So, 1,204 now. There's still an hour left to vote, but I'm closing it now. Right now, your last place is the Kansas City Chiefs with 11%.
That makes sense.
Nobody wants to see Kansas City. Next to last, Cincinnati Bengals at 25%.
Good. Proud of Browns fans.
Next, the Philadelphia Eagles at 28%. And that means your winner in this Twitter poll is the 49ers at 37%. Now, Bri, I told you during all this, which I can see Niners quarterback issues. They kind of play football like we want to play football. So, you kind of figured that.
Right.
And I put it out there and I told you that we had some people out there just kind of, just not happy. You and I watch football to watch football, but we are Browns fans, but we're still going to watch football. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But we will talk about, James, we're going to have to save that one for maybe a little bit later. But with this going on, like I sat there, you had people sitting there like, I don't root for anybody. I root for the Browns. So I'm like, okay, pump your brakes. I get that you root for the Browns. It's just a question to throw out there. If you're not rooting for the Browns, if the Browns are not playing like they haven't been in the past 23 years, who are you going to root for? Like, you don't even have to root for them. Like, who would you like to see in the Super Bowl? I don't care. Like, it's just a question, people. You don't have to get your giblets twisted or anything of that nature. It's just a question. I don't understand why you got to come out with all the hate saying, well, none of the above, you're not a true Browns fan, blah, 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 blah. Dude, I can fan however I want to fan. I'm not telling you how to fan. Calm the hell down, all right?
It's Twitter. What did you expect? I mean, you can't be surprised with getting hate on Twitter.
No, but it just cracks me up. I just sit there and laugh, and I'm just like it's just a simple question. It's not like it's a poll, and everybody's like, well, where's the none of the above? They only give me 4 to put out, bud. I can't put an E, none of the above. Like, I can run another one right behind it if you want me to, but I could do that, and then AFC North stuff. It was just something because we're right here across the Super Bowl with the AFC Championship. And we'll talk that now, getting ready before we start our Cleveland stuff. But table set, you got the Bengals and Chiefs, and you got the Niners and the Eagles. Now, I believe the Eagles have home field advantage, so it'd be the Niners going to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Bengals are going to the Chiefs.
Right.
Big question is, after this weekend, Patty Mahomes broke his ankle.
Sprain. Didn't break it.
I know. High ankle sprain. All right, so he's a little dinged up right now. He had Chad Henne come in and throw a touchdown to Kelsey, but that's what Chad Henne does. Chad Henne just comes in and wins games for him.
The longest touchdown drive in Chiefs postseason history is Chad Henne.
My God,
Chad kind of funny, but
it's Chad Henne.
Yeah, they're not going to win anything if he's got to play a significant amount.
All right, and then the Cowboys just crapped all over their shoes and just horrible. And then the Eagles, I thought the Giants were going to give them at least somewhat of a game. Man, the Eagles are looking good now, Bri. And all this beef that I talked about, how do you feel? Now, I know college is a little bit different, and we normally don't talk about the transitions and everything else. Looking at Jalen Hurts now, how can you look at Nick Saban and go, how did you pull that guy out of a championship game to put into even though you won a championship? I get it. But to then go and have him go to Oklahoma to win, like, it's just crazy how Jalen Hurts has just taken what's right in front of him and just taken it and ran with it. Literally ran with it.
Yeah, it's being quarterback in the NFL is a ton of hard work. There's no doubt about it. But it's also depending on your coaches and depending on the system that you're in. I don't think there's many people out there that believe if Pat Mahomes went to the Houston Texans that he would be as successful as he is with Andy Reid. So, yeah, it has a lot to do with where you go. And, Hurts seems to be in a good system. And Sirianni is adapting things to his skill set. And that's what you need. And that's what we hoped for in Cleveland that Kevin Stefanski is going to do. You believe it when you see it. I don't have a ton of confidence in it at this point, but it could happen, and if you can do that to perfection, then you got a chance. And so the Eagles have, like I talked about earlier, they're not paying them a ton of money, so they got a ton of talent on the team. And it's kind of funny to me how it seems like all the powerhouse, all the up and coming, all the elite quarterbacks are in the AFC and the NFC. I know Jalen Hurts is playing really well this year, but the NFC is just wide open. It's there for the taking, and it kind of sucks being a Browns fan, knowing that you're probably going to have to go through Allen, you're probably going to have to go through Mahomes, you're probably going to have to go through Burrow if you ever want to make a title run. And not saying they can't do it, but that's a tall task. I'd rather go through Kirk Cousins and Brock Purdy and Daniel Jones. Much easier path than what it is in the AFC. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, you commend him, you tip your hat to him. He's doing everything right, and if he's healthy, then they absolutely have a shot at winning it all.
All right, Bri. So give me your Super Bowl prediction. We're down to 4, so it's a coin flip right now. Now, beforehand, we talked about it. I think I had the Chargers in the Super Bowl, and I believe I had
you had the Bills and the Eagles.
Bills and Eagles. So I might get one.
At the Niners and the Chiefs.
You might have both. So I mean,
I wouldn't pick. I think they're both underdogs, so I would go with the favorite this weekend. But you never know. Who knows? Mahomes could be fine, and Brock Purdy hasn't lost a game yet, so certainly they got a shot.
Well, they got really good defense too, Brian. Niners do. Wow, is that a good
defense? but so do the Eagles. I was looking the other day. The Eagles have 4 guys. I think they're all defensive linemen. 4 defensive linemen with 10 plus sacks, which is just unheard of. Like every single guy on your defensive line is just a stud. Now, one might be a linebacker. I take that back. Or maybe they have like 3 defensive ends, but yeah, their defense is really good too. And it's not just one guy that you can focus in on.
I think the only reason why Cincy's favored is because you don't know about Pat Mahomes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but to give them credit, they've won 3 in a row against Kansas City.
I hear you, but I mean, if it wasn't, if he didn't have the hurt ankle, I mean, I'm sure that Kansas City would be favored in this match, especially playing in Kansas City.
Oh yeah. Well, and they opened as like a 3-point favorite, and it swung 6 points, and now Cincinnati's like a 2.5 or a 3-point favorite. So yeah, people just this injury, high ankle sprain, guys miss 3-4 weeks, maybe a month plus with this type of injury, and he's supposed to play on it in 7 or 8 days. So he's going to go out there. He's going to give it his all. You wonder if that might not be good enough with his mobility, having to stay in the pocket. And who knows, he's just one more hit away from being out of the game, and then they got to rely on Chad Henne. So I understand why the Bengals are favored.
I get it. So who do you think, Super Bowl?
At this point, I'd have to say Cincinnati and Philadelphia. Kind of boring, but yeah, with the Mahomes injury and mixed with the success, and I think probably the most underrated unit in maybe all of the NFL is Cincinnati's defense. They seem to have Pat Mahomes' number like nobody else does, and he had a couple big games last year against them, but I don't know. Seeing what they did against Josh Allen, and it's not like a bunch of big names. They got like DJ Reader and Trey Hendrickson has stepped up in a huge way, and Jesse Bates is pretty good on the back end. But it's not like they have Hall of Fame players, but they seem to make plays when they have to, and to hold Josh Allen to 10 points is pretty remarkable, I think. So yeah, I'd go the Bengals, and Philadelphia just seems to be a juggernaut. They're not really weak at any position, and wide receivers make a ton of plays. So I'd go with those 2. What about you?
I kind of agree with you with the only thing that I think the Eagles are too much for San Francisco right now. If San Francisco, now I know Brock Purdy's been playing great. I'm not saying anything bad about Brock Purdy or anything of that nature, but I don't know, because look at the lead that they surmounted on the Giants, and the Giants just couldn't do it. Giants couldn't come back. Now, I know the Niners have playmakers. They got a really good defense, but I don't know that if Jalen Hurts is still playing this way like he did, this past week, right? I got to give it to Philly because it's just he's more of an X factor than what the 49ers have. And I just, with A.J. Brown, with Devontae Smith, with the little stuff that they're doing, especially having A.J. Brown out there to block while Devontae Smith catches a screen and takes it in for a touchdown. Like, it's the smartest thing to do. You got the fastest guy and one of the biggest wide receivers that will block. And it's like throwing it out there. So it's like, but also you got Christian McCaffrey and Debo on the other side, which are two just X factor playmakers. And guess what? It's amazing when McCaffrey gets on a team that actually wants to win. He has healthy could be. I haven't heard anything dinged up about him. So I'm going to go Cincy and Philly, even though I think it's kind of a coin flip between Philly and 49ers. I think with Mahomes' ankle, I know he's going to grit it out and he's going to try, Bri, but that just worries me more than anything. That's why it's going to be hard for me to bet that game, because there's times that we've seen quarterbacks hurt like that and they just shut it out and go out and just do great. And then, man. And then Chris just said, he thinks Dallas's defense showed how to play against San Francisco. Dallas's defense did do really good.
Sure, yeah, they're very, very talented. And Dallas, Philadelphia, San Francisco, I think those are the top defenses in the NFC. And so, there might not be as many points as you might think this Saturday or Sunday. But I know San Francisco stepped up against the Cowboys, but I think their defense is starting to weaken just a little bit. So, and Philadelphia just has such an advantage at the quarterback position, the way Hurts is playing. So that's kind of why I lean to them. But going back to Mahomes and his ankle injury, maybe some people don't realize how big his mobility is to his game. That all those highlight reel plays that you see are him creating time and him getting out of the pocket and throwing these no-look passes. And if he can't do that, if he's stuck to being in the pocket, he's maybe 70-80% effective is what he could be in a game against a good defense and another good quarterback. I think that's huge.
I do, like, if anybody, and Brian and I are not bookies, we're not anybody else. We just I think if you're going to bet on anything and anybody these games, it's got to be Travis Kelce. Because I have a feeling Mahomes is going to get ambushed by the defensive line in Cincinnati. And guess what happens when that happens? Travis Kelce gets 12 catches, 100 yards, and a couple touchdowns because they're just tied together. I don't know how it is that he just finds them every time. And when he finds them, he's either open or just gets open enough to catch the ball. But I expect this game, Travis Kelce just go off again like he did last week.
Yeah. He's the best in the league for a reason. I don't understand it either. You'd think you just double team him and make him throw to Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore and all these other guys that haven't really proven much, but somehow I think he set a record for postseason receptions, at least by a tight end this past weekend, and somehow he gets open. Hey, he's really good for a reason. So even if you double team him, you're not guaranteed that you can shut him down.
Chris asked me a question. Let's see here. Craig said I think the Chiefs will win by 3. And can I look up how Kelce did against Cincy this year? And I can't right now because we got to move on to Cleveland headlines, Bri. But sure. We will Super Bowl 2 weeks. We will get our Super Bowl picks once everything's done. Next week we're talking about Super Bowl food. Bri, I love Super Bowl food time. It's our greatest time in the world. Gotta love it. It's our biggest fun time in the world. Appetizers and Doritos and cookies and Oreos and beer and just, yeah. But right now, we're getting into our Cleveland headlines. All right, so Cleveland headlines. Brian, we got a few. Your Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm going to bring this up to you because I've been wanting to talk about this for a little bit. They lost last week to the Warriors without any damn starters. They beat Milwaukee without a Giannis, and now they're getting ready to play the Knicks. And Brian, I have a little. It irks me because it's every time these teams come to Cleveland, they sit everybody. And Golden State sat their whole damn starting lineup. You got no Steph Curry. You got no Draymond. You got no Clay. Their whole starting lineup, I think, except for Jordan Poole, played that game, even though they lost. But, Bri, when you're in Cleveland, you don't get a chance that often to see the stars come to Cleveland and play basketball. And for them all to sit that night, all of them, you could have one of those guys out there. Giannis, one of the probably best basketball players, top 5 basketball player right now, if not top 3, come to Cleveland, he sits. I'm tired of these guys coming to Cleveland sit because people are paying really good money hoping to see these players play. And then they're just like, oh, we're playing Cleveland in Cleveland. Yeah, I'm just going to sit on the bench a little bit. We'll call it workload management is what we'll call it. And it's just frustrating as fans because like one of the guys at work had tickets to the Bucks game that he's bringing his friends, hoping to see Giannis play. Guess what? Can't do that.
Yeah. And you pay more money for these tickets. The Golden State's coming to town, defending champs. Okay, well, we'll jack the prices up on people. And so, yep, they'll pay more for that. They'll pay more to see Giannis, and then they don't get any of that. So, I don't know. I feel like a broken record, because I'm just – this is why football isn't part of why football is just the head and shoulders above any other sport in this league or in this country because basketball players, basketball coaches, basketball organizations have told you for the last several years that the basketball season is too long. By sitting these guys, they're telling you this game is insignificant. We'd rather rest our guys for, March and April and May. So they do that. And I mean, just think, could you imagine if the Chiefs sat Patrick Mahomes or the Bills sat Josh Allen, just not because he's hurt, just because, we'd like to give him a little bit of rest this week. It's not going to happen. So they're telling you the season is too long. It happens in baseball all the time, but they don't have the stars that they do in basketball. So, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating as a fan, but there's nothing you can do about it because it's all about money. It's all about making more money. They probably have add 20 more games if they could. They're more likely to add games than take away games. So, yeah, as a fan, you just kind of have to agree one and go about your business and hope that the big games that you purchase tickets for are actually going to be big games. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame. I feel bad for the people that pay extra for these games, and then once game time rolls around, you're like, I don't even really want to go. It's just going to be a bunch of backups. But it turned out to be a good game, and who could have predicted we lost?
I mean, I understand that it turned out to be a good game, right? It's just, and this might be Charlotte, this might be New Orleans, this might be Washington Wizards, we might be grouped in with all those teams, even Atlanta sometimes. But man, it just feels like it's like every time like a really good team comes to Cleveland, play the Cavaliers, yeah, we're sitting people. And it's like,
it's good for the Cavs and their record, though.
I know it's good for the Cavs and the record, but as a fan, you can see the Cavs how many times throughout the year. You only get to see like the Lakers once in a year, like, or the Suns when they come, or you know what I mean? Like you don't get a chance to see some of these players that often. And when they come, and it's like, I understand if it was like a back to back, or if it was like a triple overtime or quadruple overtime, but most of the time it's just like, oh, we're flying from Minneapolis to Cleveland. That's too much. That flight's too long, Bri. I don't know if I can make that flight from Chicago to Cleveland, even though it's only 35 minutes. Heaven forbid that happen. Like, it's just like, come on, guys. At least just throw the fans a bone at that point in time. Don't gouge them out with all these ticket prices, knowing that they're going to be like sitting there going, well, I just paid $100 for these nosebleed tickets just to see Klay Thompson and, Curry throwing up threes like crazy, but, oh, great. They're not playing. Well, I guess I'll spend another $14 on nachos and beer to drown my sorrows away.
Yeah, and in all reality, it's disrespectful to the Cavs team and the Cavs organization. Not just that you don't want to put your guys out there. Like, you don't think it's worth it. Do you think the Bucks are going to sit Giannis against the Celtics?
No, God, no.
Because they know they're going to be jockeying for position in the East with them at the end of the year. So they're like, okay, yeah, we'd rather sit you against the Cavs. And, if we win, great. If we lose, whatever. We're going to have a better record than you at the end of the year anyway. So hopefully the Cavs look at it that way and they take it personal. But at this point, it's such commonplace to do it. They might not even think twice about it.
Well, right now the Cavs are 10 above in the win column. Listen to this, Brian. This is crazy. They're 20-5 at home. 20-5. I wonder why. Because nobody wants to play here. No stars want to play here, Bri. Bastards.
Hey, we'll take it. At the end of the day, I'll take 20-5, but it should be 21-4.
It's just, for me, Bri, it's just frustrating because, especially if you want to take your kids, especially my mindset now is with my kids. Like, Dad, I want to go see LeBron before he's done. All right, well, let's go. Oh, LeBron's sitting. Well, son, if we sneak down to courtside, maybe. It's like, okay.
I can't remember if LeBron, have they played the Lakers yet? See, I think LeBron might be, I know you were just throwing it out there as an example, but I think LeBron has enough respect for Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Where he wouldn't want to sit out again. Yeah.
LeBron's got too much family, too many friends, everything else in Cleveland, not to just
right. Put it all on display.
Yeah.
Put it on a show for the fans.
Let's see here. Browns news this week. That was my Cavs news, Bri. I just wanted to get that out because it's just frustrating, Bri, especially as a fan, because you pay really good money for those seats. And it's just like, come on, like, you can't just, but I get it. And like you said, it's like it's a broken record. It's going to happen. And like you said, even with the NFL, at least when your team's like 14-1 and they clinched the division and clinched home field advantage, some people might be taking a rest. That's going to happen. Whether it be your quarterback,
problem to have.
But at that point in time, you get that. But halfway through the season, let's see here, 30. Yeah, we're halfway through the season now, right, Brian? Past halfway?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 41 games is halfway.
Yeah, so right now there is 48 games. So we got, Brian, we still got a long time. There's still half a season left.
There. Too long. What was it? I can't remember if it was the COVID year or year after the COVID year in the bubble where they only had like 60 games. And honestly, I think, right, that's what it should be, but it'll never be that way because NBA wants more money.
Everybody wants more money. All right, so the Browns headlines that we got now, Bri. Coach Callahan. All right, he is back. He said, I am not doing any offensive coordinator looks or anything of that nature. I am staying. He signed an extension. Also, Jim Schwartz is making moves on the defensive side now. He's hired one defensive coordinator, talking to the rest of them, or not defensive coordinator, but defensive assistant.
Oh, nice.
So he's going through the rest of them, talking with the rest of them. Also, and this is another one I wanted to bring up to you, Brian, is the Browns wide receiver coach O'Shea is getting looks at offensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens, I believe the Jets, and there's talks about maybe Tampa Bay. Now, Brian, I wanted to bring this up because I got a question for you. Now, I know he's a wide receivers coach, but wouldn't Van Pelt want to dip his toe in the OC search also? Because he's not calling plays here. Wouldn't you want to call your own plays in your own sheet? So I'm kind of curious why Van Pelt isn't fielding offers too, and why O'Shea is.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I would think that Van Pelt would want to go somewhere where he can call his own plays, but I'm not positive. I think there might be a rule making a lateral movement, like going from OC to OC. I don't know. Maybe you have to get the blessing of the organization, or there's some hoops that you have to jump through to make a lateral move like that. Whereas going from wide receivers coach to offensive coordinator is a step up. So I don't know.
I don't know what they could say, Brian, because at that point in time, he can go in and be like, I'm not the offensive coordinator here, so I quit.
I mean, you're right. You would have to quit. He would have to quit his job, and then he'd be able to go interview for these other OC jobs.
I thought it was weird that O'Shea was getting some play with OC jobs, and also like some of the jobs around the league. I mean, Leftwich got fired, Roman out of Baltimore, Canada's still there in Pittsburgh, or are they getting rid of him?
No, he's still there. I know Pittsburgh fans are pissed off about that, but good news for us.
But just giving you the play that some people in the front office, one of the assistant general managers is getting some play. I think it's Arizona. Arizona's making a few phone calls for one of the GMs here in Cleveland. Okay. So there's some stuff behind the scenes there going on. Brian and I will be talking more Browns throughout the offseason because we do have free agency coming up. We're going to be breaking down a whole bunch of defensive tackles, linebackers, safeties, team needs, wide receivers. Because, Brian, like you said with that Cincinnati team, they're not a bunch of big names, but a lot of those guys are becoming free agents, like Jesse Bates, like a couple other safeties. So something to keep an eye on, especially with Jesse Bates only being I think he's only 26.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
He's been a stud for a couple of years, Pro Bowler. So yeah, they're gonna have to start clearing some space for the $50 million a year that they're gonna have to pay Joe Burrow, for the $25 million a year they might have to pay Jamar Chase. So there's $75 million right there. And I know the cap goes up and up and up, but eventually you can't pay everybody.
Craig Nally is here. What's going on, Kev?
What up, Kev? What do you say, Kev?
What do you say, Kev? All right, Brian, we're going to get into our Fat Boy Tuesday. All right, we're talking a little fruit. We don't have any more Cleveland headlines right now. We do, but I don't want to bring it up yet. There's some news about a Guardians, ex-Guardians player that came out today that not good, but we'll get into that next week. But right now we're getting into Fat Boy Tuesday, and we are going to talk some fruit, and we'll answer the trivia question right before Fat Boy Tuesday. That work for you?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
Now, our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs of Cleveland. We had our dog Griselda up there. She's cute. Let me just bring up some more pictures real quick of her before we answer the end of the trivia, Bri, because it kind of correlates with Fat Boy Tuesday. There is Griselda, beautiful dog. She's 6. Please go adopt her at City Dogs of Cleveland. If you need to get a hold of it, get a hold of us here at illegalhandletheface@gmail.com. God, I love that dog already, especially sitting there, especially wearing the princess outfit, right? She's wearing a princess outfit with the pearls and everything. Oh, Bri. But our trivia, my trivia to Big Bri this week was, Bri, what is the most popular fruit in the world?
Yeah, I got a question because my initial thought was berries, but is that too broad?
That's too broad.
That's too broad. Okay. All right. Well,
and narrow it down to a specific fruit.
Yep. Okay. That's what I was thinking. And my wife watches a lot of these, Survivor and Naked and Afraid, where they go on these islands and stuff. And it seems like to me they end up eating a lot of bananas. So I'll say bananas.
Now, Bri, technically, you are correct.
Okay.
But there's a trick to this. What vegetable is also a fruit?
Vegetable is also a fruit. Oh, I always get it screwed up. Is it a potato or tomato?
Tomatoes.
One of them's not what you think. Tomatoes. Okay.
Technically, tomatoes are the most popular fruit in the world.
The more popular. Are bananas number 2?
Bananas are definitely number 2.
Okay, nice.
So, but I'm going to give it to you.
Moral victory.
That whole tomato thing kind of throws people off because they don't think of a tomato as a fruit.
Yeah, I guess there's a ton of people out there who kind of grow tomatoes in their backyard, or you can put up a pole in your driveway and you can grow tomatoes on it. So I suppose maybe that makes sense.
Well, in the climate, pretty much grow tomatoes anywhere. Bananas, not so much. Mm-hmm. But I do have, where is my picture? There it is. So after bananas, there are grapes, apples, watermelon, strawberries, and then it kind of goes down the list there. But the reason why we're talking fruit today, Bri, is because, one, it's delicious, but you can also mix it with a whole bunch of different stuff. Make sauces out of it. Goes great on ice cream, some ice cream. Goes great with cobbler. I mean, any kind of dessert that you can get a fruit into it, I'm game, and I know you're game. Plus, bananas are delicious, Bri. Quick, easy snack for us, especially at work. You grab an apple, banana. Your family had the apple farm there for a while, so you grew up in that area. So let's talk some fruit, Bri. Like, what are your, besides apples, because I'm taking apples off the table for you because you're probably just done with apples. But, like, what are some of your favorite fruits or fruit concoctions that you like?
Had an apple today. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, bananas, just because they're easy. They're definitely towards the top of the list. I like oranges. They're just, they take a lot of time and effort. And typically in the morning, I'm eating fruit for breakfast or something when I'm driving. So I usually don't go. I go for something easy that you can just grab and eat. But lately, I've been on a grape kick for at least a month, maybe almost 2 months now. So I've been eating a ton of grapes. And let's be honest, I mean, break it down to brass tacks. It's why do you eat fruit? Because there's health benefits to it. So otherwise, we'd be eating bags of potato chips like we talked last week. So I know of fruit that's very good for you is blueberries. So I try to eat a ton of blueberries.
All right. So on my side, we can't keep grapes in the house because every time we bring grapes home, they're gone. Cherry tomatoes, definitely gone in this house. Like, Brian, I bought 2 things of cherry tomatoes. They were gone within an hour. I took them out of the bag, put them in the fridge. Charlie comes up, opens the fridge, goes, "Ooh, cherry tomatoes." Gone, downstairs, gone. It's like, come on, kid. Watermelon. Oh, my God, especially during the summertime. Especially on a hot day, you get that watermelon. Watermelon cantaloupe is great also. One of my favorite things I like to mix, we talked about it today at work, Bri, cottage cheese and like pineapple or peaches. Mixture of that nature. Or you get, like you said, especially at work, grapes because you just grab and go. Kiwi is always good too. Don't get it that often, but when I do, but we brought it up. The 2 other things I like that are similar to an apple, Bri, peaches and pears, because you can eat them the same way as an apple. They're quick. They're in your hand. You eat them, toss them off to the side when you're done.
Yeah. I'm not a huge pear guy. I don't know. I've never really been a big pear guy, but I'm totally with you. I forgot to mention peaches. Fantastic cantaloupe. I love. I've eaten cantaloupe since I was young, and then pineapple. They get a little sweet at times, but like you said, and cottage cheese or something like that. Yeah, that's phenomenal.
And like what we talked about today at work is like, most of the time you got to be in the mood for the fruit you're going to eat, or if it's really good and you like it. But like, there's also a different taste. Like you get oranges from the store, not the same as you get down in Florida right off the tree. Same with bananas. Same with anything else. Like I go to Florida when I get oranges, and granted, they got oranges on corners of every street in Florida, but the oranges down there, they're more juicy, they're more delicious than I think you get at the store. Even mandarin, forgot about the mandarin oranges, Brian. One pop shops, but for us at work, it's easy for us to just grab a handful and go. I mean, it's whether it be blueberries, like you said, raspberries are also delicious. Brian, what's your favorite cobbler? Do you like peach, cherry, apple?
Yeah, I mean cobbler. When I hear cobbler, I initially go to peach cobbler. That's number one. But if you want to throw like apple pie in there, I just had my mother-in-law made some apple pie for us last Friday, so I just enjoyed that on Sunday evening. So if we're talking pies, cobblers, apple would be the best. Probably peach not far behind though.
God, it's peach cobbler. Craig chimed in on, peach cobbler is so good. I'm getting to that point, Brian. I'm hungry. I can't help it. Gotta talk sweets. But is there a weird concoction with fruit that you do that you think is weird? Maybe.
Not. I don't know if it's super weird, but like I said, I eat as many blueberries as possible, and I've been on a grape kick lately, so I just kind of mix the grapes and the blueberries together and just grab them out of the Tupperware and eat them together, because I made the mistake one time of eating all the grapes first, and then you go from grapes to blueberries, and it's quite bitter. Not quite as sweet as the grapes are. So I just kind of mix them together, and it's really good.
Mama chimed in, blackberry cobbler. There it is.
Never had it.
Oh, Brian. Mom, you got to make some blackberry cobbler for Brian when you come up here. And when she comes, Brian, you're going to get some.
All so right. My wife's grandma makes when she was still with us, she made a tremendous elderberry pie, and it is famous down in Mansfield area. Everybody wanted it, but you can't get elderberries as accessible as you can like other fruits, so she wouldn't make a ton of it. But that was good. I only had it maybe one time, but it was something different. So yeah, try it. Elderberry pie, elderberry jam, really good.
All right, so Mom gave me the thumbs up. When she comes to Cleveland, she's making blackberry cobbler, bud.
Sweet.
All right, Jocelyn, my sister, chimed in. Peach cobbler, cherry pie, yes.
Yep.
What about this whole fascination with strawberry and rhubarb? I mean, you like strawberry rhubarb?
Yeah, because for me, it just tastes like strawberry pie. I didn't even really know what the hell rhubarb was until I met my wife, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we see it growing all over the place." So, yeah, it's kind of bitter, I guess. I've never really ate rhubarb by itself, but the strawberries kind of overcome it.
And I'm just going to say this right now, Brian, because I haven't had dinner yet. Craig Foster, you're an asshole. He had sloppy joes for dinner tonight, Bri.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. There it is. We're trying to be healthy. We're talking about fruit. Talking about bettering ourselves over here. He's throwing sloppy joes at us.
My favorite fruit, sloppy joes.
Yeah. What's my favorite fruit? Jelly.
Yeah, hot dog.
God, there it is.
A box of wine.
That old man, I forgot about that. Brian, do you have a favorite wine? I've never asked.
No, not really. No, I mean, obviously obviously the sweet stuff is better than the dry stuff, but it's like beer. I'll drink anything.
See, I'm kind of the same way, but like my wife is a cab girl, so she drinks the Cabernet or Merlot. My mom is a sweet wine girl. My sister is kind of like us and mixes Fireball with Chardonnay. Like I don't know what's
doesn't
going
sound
on.
bad.
It sounded good to me, kind of like mimosas.
That's right.
Call it Burn the House Down. All right, Brian. We got everybody in here now. We got a whole bunch of viewers. You want to get our top three, bud?
Okay.
All right, Brian. So we did our top three, which I thought was a good one because Kevin Stefanski, like you said, made his rounds with 92.3 and 850. They ask him all the questions and all this other stuff. But if you had a chance to actually interview and question Kevin Stefanski, what would you ask him, Brian? And it's a great top three because it gets a lot of talk. We had a lot of talk on Facebook. A lot of people would ask, why didn't you run a pro set with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield? Why would you bring in, another one was, why would you bring in Jacoby Brissett on 4th and 1 all the time? There's a lot of questions. I mean, you can go critical. You can ask him that stuff. You can ask him pretty much anything you want. So these are three questions that Brian and I would like to personally ask Coach Stefanski. So, Brian, would you like to go first?
I would rather you go first because I think I got 5 here. And if you touch on one that I have written down, I'll just cross it off and go to the next one. So you go ahead.
You're killing me. All right. So my first question would not even be football related to Coach Stefanski. He's been in Cleveland now for how long? I would want to ask him first off, Coach Stefanski, what's your favorite restaurant in Cleveland? And also, what activities do you like to do here in Cleveland? When you're not, things to do with the family, whatever it is. Just kind of see where he's at, where his favorite restaurant is, kind of food he likes, that kind of thing. Okay, and then I come in with Coach Stefanski, why are you such a moron and you will not give the play calling over to Alex Van Pelt? That would be probably my second one. But my first one would probably be the best process, and I know the answer I would get. Coach Stefanski, what does Paul DePodesta do?
Yeah.
And I would ask that to Jimmy Haslam. I would ask that to Andrew Berry. I would ask that to the water boy. I would ask that to the towel guy. I would ask that to athletic trainer. I would ask it to the guy that paints the elf in the middle of the field. What does Paul DePodesta do? And that's the only question I really want from the Cleveland Browns. But I want to do a fun question with Stefanski where he likes to eat, what he likes to do. And also just why is it so hard for you to give up the play calling?
Yeah. I mean, you hit on probably the top 2 questions that I wanted to ask him, which I think probably would be pretty similar for most of the other Browns fans out there. And that's Paul DePodesta's impact on game day. I don't really care about how he constructs the roster as long as we have talent on the roster. But like, what does he do during the season? They say they meet all the time and blah, blah. Okay, how does he impact your game day plan, or does he impact it at all? Hopefully the answer is he has 0 impact on it, but I'm sure. And this was a very frustrating exercise to do because the answers you're going to get. Even before you write the official question down on paper, how he would really answer it. So, we're just hoping that we can get an honest answer out of him or get something from him, but most likely we would not. And yeah, so that was one of mine. Another one was, assuming at this point, we're assuming that he's just going to go down with the ship, with the play calling. So if this team struggles out the gate for the first 4 to 6 games, what is the plan to pass play calling off to Alex Van Pelt or whoever we assume is going to be Van Pelt? But yeah, how would that go? Because you can't. Another thing that made this exercise so frustrating for me was I have more suggestions that I want to give Stefanski or begging him to do.
Oh yeah.
And I tried to just form it into a question. Like another one is, why the hell don't you throw the ball to Nick Chubb more? get him the ball out in space. He did it for one game, the last game, and he had tons of success, but I have zero confidence that that'll carry over to next year. So that was another one of my questions. And I guess this is terrible top 3 because I'm not really running down.
It doesn't matter.
3, 2, 1. But what the hell happened to Kareem Hunt this year? Were you pissed off at him because he demanded a trade in preseason and in training camp? Because they treated him like your average backup running back. It was not the 1-2 punch that we've seen in years past that we were promised, that we've been talking about all offseason about. We have the best running back duo in the league. We have the best running game in the league because these two guys keep each other fresh. It was Kareem Hunt has a clear-cut backup, and we love Nick Chubb. You don't want to take him off the field. But, it's almost like Kareem Hunt had a terrible average, and it's almost like they just weren't helping him out at all. Because how does he go from top 10 running back one year to what we thought was he's the top 10 running back to a guy that can barely find the field, and you give him 5 touches for 9 yards or something like that. And I don't believe it's just Kareem Hunt falling off a cliff. So yeah, I'd love to hear his perspective. And honestly, we're not going to get a real answer out of him, but it'd be nice to train.
Yeah, and Craig Nally he's come up with some here. He said, why do you hate taking points? Why do you have to wear so many hats? And how do you get better when after every game you have to get better? Which he says all the time. We have to be better. We have to be better.
Yep.
Kind of like Hugh Jackson. I gotta look at the tape. That's on me. I gotta look at the tape. That's on me. And Brian, all the questions that you asked, it's simple answers of, well, what does Paul DePodesta do? Well, Paul is a critical part of the front office. He helps with our analytical team. He's here day to day to do this, to do that. I mean, it sounds like I'm listening to Bueller all the time with this guy. And it's like another one that I'm like,
yep.
How are you holding people accountable? What are you doing? You're saying tough, smart, and accountable. How are you holding people accountable here? Because you sit out Myles Garrett for just a series. You sit out one guy for a start. Oh, my God, he missed one play for disciplinary reasons. You have another guy just can't catch the ball that you just do a healthy scratch. So what are you doing to hold people accountable? What's going on here? That's another one.
Yeah. I just want to sit him down, force him not to say a word, and just berate him with stuff that I think he's doing wrong, and just repeat it until it finally sinks into his head, basically. That's all I want to do.
Now, I wonder, now this might be inhumane, but you know how we have the dog collars? The anti-bark, the anti-anything like that kind of collar to train dogs. I mean, can you just put one on him at game time and go he gets ready to call the play? Zzz, nope, not that one. Not that one. You know better. Don't call that play. Zzz, run out there. It's 4th and 6. Let's throw a slant pass instead of taking a field goal. Zzz, there it is. Another one. Stop it. Take the field goal. Let's move on. Zzz, just little buzz downs. Where's Ray Farmer at? Can he text him down off the onto the field saying you're doing it wrong and just
get fined for that.
I know you get fined for that.
The good news is for Browns fans, if you're looking for some hope, you have two things that you can look to for hope for next year, and that's Deshaun Watson getting a lot better because he was pretty awful this year, and B, Jim Schwartz just kind of starting to change the culture in that locker room. And it starts with the defense. If the defense is holding up their end of the rope, I think that'll carry over to the offense. And I don't want to, slander Coach Stefanski in what he's doing and what he tries to do, but it's almost like you need a disciplinarian in that locker room. And I think that could be Schwartz. He's got the resume to back it up, winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and just the amount of time that he's spent in this league, he knows what works. So, again, I'm very happy about that hire.
And the last quote from Kevin Cragnally before we get out of here. A manager delegates. For F's sake, Kev, there's men and women on this staff getting paid to do what their appointed tasks are. Let them.
Sure.
That's it. I mean, you got to delegate.
When you win, everything is peachy and everything works. But if you lose, let's find out why we lose time and time and time again. And that's not the easiest thing to do. And so, somebody needs to hold Stefanski accountable. I don't know who that is, but sounds like we're rolling with him for this year, for better or worse. So make it happen.
Well, after this, Bri, there's no more excuses. I mean, that's like you said, you got a new defensive coordinator. Can't blame the defense anymore. You can't blame Baker Mayfield anymore. You can't blame injuries. You can't blame anything else. You can't hide anymore. If you are a real head coach and a good head coach and you want to coach the Cleveland Browns, you can't hide anymore, Kev. You got to come out. You got to take hold of this team, and you got to get them to the playoffs.
Yep, this is the situation we've been working for ever since we decided that Baker Mayfield was not the quarterback to move forward with. So all our ducks are in a row going into next year. Knock on wood like crazy. Hopefully we get some good injury luck, and we can stay as healthy as we did for the most part of this season. So all hands on deck. Well, it's time to go do it. Stop talking about it. We've heard about it for years now, but we need to see the results now.
All right. Want to thank everybody for watching. Kevin, Jocelyn, Chris, Craig, James, everybody else. Ma making blackberry cobbler for Bri. Bri, you're going to love it, buddy. It's a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Game changer. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys all for sharing and everything else. Also, Bri, next Fat Boy Tuesday, Super Bowl spreads. Anybody here watching? Ask your friends. Ask your family. What's their Super Bowl spread that they put on for the Super Bowl party? And we will talk about ours next week here on Illegal Hand of the Face on our Fat Boy Tuesday. So, Bri, God bless them. God bless everyone.
God bless you. God bless America. Have a good week.
All right. I am that fat guy. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded, but we got to thank our troops and first responders for everything they do. Got to thank City Dogs of Cleveland, and got to thank hkeehl for the sponsorship. Can't thank you guys enough, especially for watching, liking, and subscribing. We will see you guys all next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Thanks for watching, everybody.